Hello, welcome back to our second part of the overview for our self-build camper van. In this video we'll carry on from where we left off in the last video and cover some bits and pieces that aren't really crucial for the build, but that just made the van feel a bit more comfortable to stay in and look a bit nicer. One of the first things that I did was take out the big black metal bulkhead that divided the cab and the back. So just before we went to the Lake District, we knew that you could still see in the back of the van through the front, and we didn't want to be woken up by the daylight in the morning. So we got this curtain. Gabby got it from a charity shop for £8, I think, and it's perfect. It completely blacks out the back. You can't see anything through from the front windows. And it's also really thermally efficient, so it doesn't let any of the heat into the cab from the back in the cold weather, and it doesn't let much heat from the cab through to the back in the hot weather. And obviously from a security point of view, it completely blocks out the view of anyone or anything in the back of the van. So something I'd seen a lot in other camper van conversions was the exposure of the metal on the inside of the van, and I really didn't like the look of that. One, visually it's not very nice to see, and two, it's not good to have a cold surface on the inside of the van that could potentially attract condensation in the colder weather. So I wanted to cover up as much of the metal in the back of the van as possible, so I used this really stretchy, I think it's two-way stretch van lining carpet. The next bit I did really transformed the van from a panel van into a camper van, and I remember this feeling when I put the doormat in, and it felt like quite a turning point in the build. And then the toilet roll holder, because let's face it, we all need one. Now I don't really want to talk about the electrical system too much in these overview videos, but we do have a 175 watt solar panel on the roof that I got from Bimble Solar, which is in East Sussex near Lewes. And it's second hand, but it works perfectly, and I've got two roof bars to mount it between because I didn't want to drill any more holes in the roof than I had to. And I've just got a basic charge controller, and I threaded the cables for it through the mushroom vent in the roof and then underneath the lining, the roof lining, because I'd already done the roof by the time I put the cabling through. And the use of the wire coat hanger was really good, and I strongly recommend anyone building a van to have one of these hangers in your toolkit, because you never know when you'll need it. The next part of the build that I'd been putting off for a while after our trip from the Lake District, just because I wasn't sure if it was totally necessary, was the storage unit at the back of the van. And you can see the difference between the old and the new with the storage unit, and I'm really glad that I did it, because we used the van to move from the UK to Sweden, as well as travelling around Europe beforehand, and without that big area of storage there's no way we would be able to fit all our clothes and all our belongings in the van to take on our travels with us. So I got started on the unit and cut this shape out that I knew that I wanted the front of the unit to be. I didn't want it just to be boring shelving, and I wanted it to accommodate a table and chairs as well for in the winter when we would use the van again. So I came up with this design. It had to include space for our portaloo and for as many boxes for clothing as possible, and we had these IKEA boxes that are about 40 centimetres by 40 centimetres roughly in our house at the time anyway, so I thought I'd try and utilise them, and was able to use this front sheet that I'd cut out, and managed to get three boxes into the design. So that was really good, because without those it would have been impossible to take the amount of clothes that we took with us on our travels. Plus it gave us an area, an area to put the Xbox in and to mount the TV on at the end of the sofa. And then on the other side of the unit there was space for mounting the hose, the collapsible bucket and the telescopic ladder that we'd got. That's about all I've got time for now. I'll do a third and final overview video concerning the installation of the gas heater that only cost me about £25, and of installing the window in the side of the van, which meant I was able to register the van as a legitimate camper van with the DVLA in the UK. So hope you can tune in to the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what you think.